Hello and welcome to Discuss Impact. I'm Jay here with the True Horror King, owner, the Gary from YouTube's Gary's Movie Emporium. How was that, Gary?
Fun, good, Jay. Hope everybody had a good Halloween weekend last week.
Yeah, he doesn't mean that. He's evil. He's called the Horror King. He was probably out doing some crazy shit. So we're here to talk about another episode of Impact Wrestling, the November 3rd edition, where we got some new members to Violent by Design. Pretty cool brawl with Eddie and PCO, or not cool, depending on your thoughts. I've seen some Impact fans, saying they hated it, some loved it. I got to mention right off the top, because it was one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time on Impact, when the major players were backstage and Joe Henry popped out of an actual refrigerator saying he wanted a digital media title. Cardone is like, why was he in the refrigerator?
I like when Matt goes, how long has he been
That was, oh man. Like I always say, it's hard to do good comedy and wrestling, and like, that's it. Keep doing that. More of that, please.
Well, that's the thing. These three guys are perfect at that. I think that's why this was so funny and good to see on screen. It was like, you could tell they were having a good time with the segment.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, he's a funny dude, the singer. Jesus, I'm blanking on his name already. He's a funny dude, the singer dude. And yeah, so was my boy, I wouldn't say Cardona so much, but he's not bad. He's a decent character, so it all worked. PCO, Eddie in the Desert, love that. Gonna get into that. We would love to give you ratings, but the fact is they are simply unknown. I could make them up right now, but well,
they're currently in the Twilight Zone at this point.
Yeah, so we're going to make them up. Screw it. I have that power, I feel. They went up like 20K last week. They didn't rank this week. I'm going to guess they dropped like 10K, so I'm going to go like 85, 80, but that's just in my mind, so pay no attention. Gary, did they update some matches? Oh, wait, sorry, before we get to that, I forgot. I have to quickly mention I was suspended from Twitter in case anyone happened to notice. I've jumped over to Facebook, and oh my God, everyone is so nice on Facebook. It's like a different world. Anyone who's listening and you're on Twitter, get the hell off of there and go on Facebook, or use them both. But like, I swear to God, I met more people on Facebook, like actual people talking wrestling, in days than I did years on Twitter. That's not a joke. Within days, like actual people took, like not business bullshit, actual wrestling.
Well, I with Facebook, I do feel like too there's a more diverse fan base out there. Like they like different promotions, whereas Twitter seems to be nothing but AEW talk.
Yeah. I want to kill you. Fuck AEW. Fuck WWE.
Very negative stuff going on Twitter. I'm not knocking Twitter, but it just seems more standout-ish, if you will.
No, Twitter is WWE sucks. AEW sucks. We hate each other. I love WWE. Oh, wait, an Impact fan popped in. Let's all pile up on him, even though we fucking hate each other, and that's pretty much the best show out there. It's a disaster, but yeah, let's get back to the show here. Okay, shoot time. Not sure if people like this, but I do. I like yelling and shooting on things, and the latest is going to be, well, going back to AEW once again, and Jeff Jarrett, one of my least favorites when it comes to business. I have to say, I did speak to him a few times when I was doing Impact on Twitch, and he seemed like the nicest goddamn guy in the universe. But he kind of sucks at business, and this isn't really about, I guess it's more about Tony Khan, because Jarrett recently got hired as new director of business development. Now, this is Tony Khan saying it makes a lot of sense for AEW to expand our live calendar in 2023 and beyond. There are many places in the U.S. we are very popular, blah, blah, blah. It's strategic. We also have Ring of Honor. Now, for everyone out there, check out their recent ticket sales. They are running Dynamite. Usually they tape Rampage at Dynamite. That's one fucking show a week. That's what they're doing. One show a week. Sometimes they're doing two. WWE probably has, I can't even imagine, 8 shows sometimes a week, and that's not a joke. Look it up. They're all over the world at all times. And they sell out, or they come close to selling out. And like they do house shows. They're not even doing house shows yet. And like they're hiring Jeff Jarrett to look into house shows when they can't even sell tickets for 1 or 2 shows a week. Okay, that's all the time I got. Gary, you want to take anything on that?
Yeah, I'd like to add on with Jeff Jarrett, I kind of get where they're going with it to a degree, but
how dare you?
He's been he's been with so many different companies, and I just feel like he's a bit of a leech at this point, and a bit of a carny because like that gimmick with the smashing the guitar thing happened, best in TNA, and I don't know. I just kind of feel like at every turn AEW is trying to take a page out of our history.
Yeah, and I mean he's been literally everywhere. Also, like I feel like he's damaged goods. Is that fair?
Yeah, very fair, especially with we know the fact that he I guess they together they took each other to court, right? Wasn't that?
I mean, how many goddamn times has he taken everyone to court? And then he goes back to be working with these people. But again, I said he's a very nice guy. At least, I really think that's what it comes down to. He's an incredibly nice guy.
It's weird because we're supposed to be, we're supposed to play nice with AEW, but then they go and make a move like this.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I didn't think about the whole Impact AEW thing. Maybe it could be good for Impact. Maybe Jarrett will kind of push it, because he always has a thing for it. I don't know. Well, maybe he hates it and kind of wants it to die. I don't know how he feels about it. He did create it.
There was that speculated rumor that Jeff Jarrett and some other gentleman, I can't remember his name, there was talk of them possibly purchasing Impact from Anthem. I know that was a wild rumor going around. And then when he showed up on AEW, I was like so much for that rumor.
Yeah, that was probably from Rovert, who's been pushing that bullshit for about 15 years now. I don't know what it is, man. It's like he just really wants this Jeff Jarrett to buy Impact, and I never understood it. I mean, I also never understood why Impact fans didn't get more pissed off that he was the one to change TNA to stupid-ass GFW, like, out of all the mistakes Impact made. And I know most Impact fans love the TNA name, even if they don't want to admit it. Like, oh, it's TNA, it's an ass, Like, no, it's not. It's TNA. People know what TNA is. People still Google TNA wrestling. Is TNA wrestling alive? It probably gets Googled more than Impact. Just the whole TNA letters thing. It's simple. Whatever. Should probably get to the show now. Actually, no. Pat Gary, you got, what's the card right now for the big special coming up in 2 weeks?
The card as it stands right now, as we know, is Alexander versus Kazarian for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship, which we all know about.
And then Josh definitely wins, but maybe there's some kind of AEW thing going on.
And then we have Heath and Rhino defending the titles against the major players, which we know that too. And then we have the Death Dolls defending their. We got two, sets of tag team title matches going on, just opposite genders. They defend them against Tasha and Savannah.
Okay, that makes sense out of a match on this show that I didn't understand, but now it does make sense. So, okay.
You're getting all your titles represented really well at this Overdrive. Hopefully, it gets some subscribers on Impact Plus.
And Tony should be paying attention. Belts matter. Titles matter. Make them matter. Don't just give them out to everyone like a goofball. All right, so how about your quick grade for this week's episode? First, I will tell the world the 411 grade, and you see if it messes up your grade at all. They gave it an even 7.
Yeah, I seen that. You're asking me what my grade is on it this week?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were picking first. I'm gonna go with an even 8. I think there's some things that could have been done a little better, but I like the story progression this week. I like the direction we're headed in. It looks a little bit more stable than it did, say, 2-3 weeks ago, like I had mentioned on the prior podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it like 7.5, just because. I don't know. I feel like I don't feel like it. The knockouts haven't really had a lot of time the last 2 weeks, which is very odd. I mean, I think they back-to-back pay-per-view 2 shows, and they had multiple matches on 2 straight shows, and then they were off the show last week. Then this week they just had 1 match.
And see, what I liked about this week's show is it was less matches booked, and there weren't a lot of squash matches.
How's this for a quote? Does this make sense? This is from 411. Again, I wouldn't read them if I didn't like them. It's the only people I read because I like them. Doesn't mean I can't criticize them. this is a weird time for Impact, as they are doing almost everything right, but they are doing it on the way to a show that isn't all that interesting. Is that fair?
I wouldn't say it's not interesting. I mean, you got the idea out there that Alexander could lose this title to.
Yeah, I guess he's basing. Yeah, I guess they're basing it on that he's not going to lose and there's no chance. I could see that. That's half of my brain.
I don't know. I think it's way too early to make that determination. Just because they've only got 3 official matches.
I'm just going to say, what are they? You literally just said the matches. There's 3 of them. Like, how can you be excited or not excited for something when there's 3 goddamn matches? But whatever. All right, so on to the show. Yeah, just checking my notes here. Got Double J, that fucking idiot. Oh, new Violent by Design members. Might as well start off with that, since to me, it's a huge deal. I love it. We've been talking about this, I think, how, if you're going to have a stable, you got to have new members. At least, some point. Or, like, do something. You got to move forward in a way. And they were kind of, like, stuck Violent by Design, I think, after Big Joe got sick. Hopefully, God, is doing better.
Oh, I see my, Mick Foley donated something in Joe's honor.
That's awesome.
Proceeds go to Joe's battling brain cancer.
Yeah, awesome dude, Mick Foley. And right now, Disco Inferno has been giving him shit on Twitter because Mick is going back and forth on Twitter because of his political whatever. And I don't know. I think Disco should just shut the fuck up. And I agree with Disco a lot about AEW and a lot of things, but don't get into like somebody popping on Twitter and saying, they're taking a break for the whatever reasons. Like, that's none of your fucking business, dude. Okay, let's go to wait, sorry, what the hell was I just talking about? How the hell did I get to Disco Inferno? Where did that come from? Gary, where the hell did I get Disco Inferno from?
I don't know. I know earlier in the week you were referring to something you had said to him on Twitter or mentioned to him, and I don't know, you had messaged me at some point and you told me you got banned by Elon Musk.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I mentioned earlier in the show I was banned from Twitter because whatever, I said a bad word I didn't know you can say, but you can say a bunch of other bad words on Twitter. It's just picking the right one, I guess, which is kind of confusing. And VBD. So I mentioned I heard that it could be Alexander Wolf, I believe his name is, as one of the new members.
Yeah, you had mentioned that, yep.
Instead, it was a member of the Ascension who, I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty sure we mentioned this at some point, that we thought one of the Ascension guys or both of them would be showing up.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about these gentlemen. I do know I've seen them before, in clips and highlights, but you know a lot more about them than I would, but I think it's a smart move.
I remember you not knowing him, so that's why I know we talked about it on the show. So, the Ascension were I don't even know what to call them. They were loved in NXT, but then they got called up, and it just.
Would you call them almost like TNA's version of the New Church?
I wasn't into it enough back then to know. I mean, they didn't get enough time to show anything about their characters. They were just guys with face paint called the Ascension. If you watched Raw, if you watch NXT, then maybe they had something going on, but I don't know. As far as I know, I don't know shit about their characters or anything. I would say in wrestling skills, they're similar to, but we only got one of the guys, so I'm not sure. Actually, yeah, screw who they're similar to, because we only got one of them, so it doesn't matter. We have to know who this guy's similar to, and honestly, I don't know, because I've never seen them singles, so I guess we shall all learn together.
Well, makes me wonder if we might get maybe James Mitchell to be added to Violent by Design down the road, possibly, too.
Well, I like EY being the mouthpiece, and
yeah.
But I'd be cool with that, too. So, Eric Young fought Sami Callihan. This is where this happened. Short match. I think it was 5 minutes or something before there was a bunch of bullshit. Not bullshit. The new members with the hoodie guys, and it was I don't think they were going to show them. I thought they were going to keep teasing the hoodie things, but about time. Not about time. They kind of quickly pulled them off. I think this was 2-3 weeks or something. I thought they would drag this on for a while. So one is Big Con, who is Connor from the Ascension. He's the bigger dude from the Ascension, and I mean, I guess he has the better look of the two, I would say. And Alan Angels, Angels, I got it. I didn't say Angles.
Yeah.
And Alan Angels, who is a really good wrestler, as far as I know, and had an awesome match with what the hell's his name? Best fucking wrestler in the world, Kenny Omega. Went like 20 minutes on Dynamite. Like she was like a really big match, like just to show like how great he is. And the guy was great. He really had an awesome job. Now he started this new group, so cool.
Well, I feel like too it's a good thing that he is a part of this group because it lets us know that he has got some kind of contract deal with Impact to at least a decent like shot at a long-term contract. Being a former AEW talent, it might bring eyes to the product as we know it.
Yep, definitely. Good call there. Didn't think about that. And yeah, I just love the whole. I mean, it's a faction. They should be growing. They added some guys here. That's awesome. Very happy about that. And we'll see where they go from here. Will they be feuding with Sammy? I'm not sure. I mean, they did kind of. Eric drove a goddamn, kind of fucked him up, left him bleeding. So I guess that's going to continue. Sammy's just not going to run away. Okay, so this actually was right before the segment with Giselle Shaw. And Jordan found a bunch of pictures of Giselle in her locker room with Giselle with the title. I mean, I think that's funny. I like the whole idea of what's going on with Giselle. I just can't buy for a second that she has any chance in hell in this match.
Well, she's having a lot of issues with a lot of the women, the knockouts and stuff too, because like Dexter's kind of getting on her case about different, about them losing, and like she messes up it seems like no matter what faction or whatever she's with, it seems like there's always a downfall whenever she's around. Like I don't know if they're trying to label her as like a bad luck kind of figure.
I mean, I don't know if it was early in the show or after this, but there was a segment with her and VXT, who she was kind of thrown out of.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I forget the whole thing gist here, but the gist was, they don't like her and they don't want her winning the title. So now I'm thinking they're gonna kind of, I don't know, stop her from winning the title, but that shouldn't be necessary if she's facing Jordan, who I believe should squash the shit out of her because that's the way she's been booked. She's not even in the same league as Jordan. It's nothing to do with anything. It's just how she's been booked. That's that's all.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting too, like the lack of Masha on the show. I don't know if you get kind of like a weird vibe, like they're booking her. They booked her off the show because she's kind of still sulking over her loss against Jordan.
I'd be cool with that, but you got to kind of show something,
Yeah.
Like or mention her or.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting with it, what they're.
But I'm cool with that if they just like don't mention her for a while and then she pops back in, like.
Yeah.
As long as it's kind of related, like she could be the first violent by design female. Who's more violent than her?
I just know the fan base out there's been complaining about lack of Masha, and I know we were trending over in Russia when she was on the show, and now they kind of dissipated. But I don't know. I think I would at least try to get some kind of vignette or something of Masha in there, like you had mentioned.
Is it possible it's not? Maybe they're like getting shit for I don't know, Russia.
Yeah, that could be with what's going on over there.
I don't know a nice way to say it without getting political, other than Russia.
Yeah, we just pray it ends sooner than later.
Yeah, and X Division title tournament, first round match on the show, kicked off the show. Probably my favorite way to kick off a show is with an X Division match. I think most shows should kick off like that. I think it could make it like even more of the X Division thing. Like, like, oh shit, you gotta tune into Impact because the X Division's starting off the show, That's always hot as fuck. So yeah, Kenny King versus Bailey, what'd you think?
I definitely like them kicking it off, but it always kind of seems like they start off a show with Speedball, which is fine. But I'd kind of mix it up. Maybe put this match in the middle of the show, because I don't know. I feel like you need that pick me up about the midpoint of the show. There gets to be a point in the show where it kind of starts to not drag every time, but like when it's storyline driven or maybe a lot promo heavy. I think you should put something like this in the middle of the show.
Well, that's why I gave this a lower grade than usual, and last week, similar for pretty much that reason. This one had some cool matches, though. Moose and Ace. I mean, I like that one. Eric, EY, and Sammy. I mean, just like that. I mean, EY and Sammy was more of a story match. Well, actually, both of them were more. Yeah, they were both stories, actually, because Moose was more about Bully Ray, and like the other one we just talked about.
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't get the winner of that one. It was Speedball, correct?
Yeah, he got the win, which is, I believe isn't that the second time he's won over Kenny King?
Yeah, and I like Kenny King, and I actually thought he would win here, just in like a shady way. I don't know. I would have had, or maybe not put him against Speedball in the first round, so we can get to the second round. I mean, Kenny King.
Call. Yeah, that's a very good call. I don't know. Maybe why not? I don't know, why not add something to it, like I don't know, like maybe I don't know, have some kind of like another match to kind of like reset this one or whatever, kind of like had a count out or both guys or whatever, and then
I'm thinking it's simply King is not signed, or he's like on a PPA deal or something for now. But
yeah,
I don't like getting into stuff like that because it's kind of lame and we don't like business stuff, but it is reality sometimes. And well, we got a knockouts match this week. Got to say, what the hell, Impact? What the hell are you doing with the knockouts? You go. I mean, everything cool. Like everything's set up nicely. You got tag teams. You got the division, and other than not really a good, actually no number one contender and kind of a shit main event scene, I guess you could say. I mean, there's really nobody on Jordan's level after she beat Masha, which I thought was the reason you had to have Masha win, because then you would have two people on the same level. Now Jordan is like 50,000 feet above everyone else.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it sticks out like a sore thumb too, because you look at the roster; she's been through everybody that has been a top talent. Only one I see really that's probably might give her a challenge is Killer Kelly.
That's a good one. She did have a little. Good thing you mentioned that. I would have forgot her on this episode. She had a little backstage thing, just saying she wants something fresh to play with or whatever it was. Love Killer Kelly. I keep saying I love everything about her. Great wrestler. She can very quickly be right on the top of the main event scene, just with a little push. That's how good she is. She's got everything. Maybe a little more, like I say, work the character into her more, like the sexiness, or take the sexiness away and make her a killer. I don't know. Kind of a bit confusing, but speaking of killers, Steve Macklin, they also had a little segment. He's sick and tired of people, getting his goddamn spot. I would agree with him, but the problem is you're losing a lot, Macklin, in these important matches, and that's why you're not getting the world title shot, bro.
Oh,
Also, do you deserve Deanna? Do you really deserve Deanna, or do I, Macklin? I know you're listening right now. That's a question I want you to think about.
Watch out, Jay's coming for it.
All right, so
former military, so
forget that. When the hell was Bully Ray? Like when did I miss? That was
he came down during the Moose and
the Moose
match and kind of was distracting him towards the tail end.
A matchup we haven't seen in a while. Moose and Ace. Like, I'm sure they probably wrestled a bunch and maybe like last year. I don't know, but I don't know. It just felt fresh because I haven't seen them in a while. And again, I always say this: my favorite goddamn matches. It's the simplest thing in the world. Big dude versus smaller dude. Usually, the best matches work out that way. And this is where Bully popped in for a distraction.
Yeah, my qualm about this match, though, I know what they were going for. They were going for a short and sweet encounter. But my problem with it is, I don't know. I don't like it when like a talent will come down and distract, because this could be a show stealer on any pay-per-view. Given the time and the effort or whatever. That's some things that, like, people will say Impact kills it on the pay-per-views, but sometimes their tapings are a little, let's say, not lackluster, but I don't know, something a little bit weaker of a word than that. That's that's kind of the problem we're having right now, I'd say, as a company. I don't know if you feel that.
No, I think it goes back to what you always say about the small roster, and they're kind of screwed. So, like, Moose and Ace, like you said, that should be like a huge banger match on a pay-per-view probably, but they're kind of running out of people to put together,
Yeah, they need more depth.
Just simply names on a roster. It's just hard to I thought this had two interesting matches with the Eric Young. Eric Young versus Sammy, it's not like it's never happened before, or even though I don't really remember.
Actually, it hasn't happened before.
I was going to say, even though I don't remember an EY versus Sammy feud.
Fan said this match is a first-time matchup.
Okay, well then that was stupid to put on Impact and not make a big deal about it, and just use it as a thing for Sammy. Like, why not make it Diener versus Sammy, and then do the same shit, and then set up EY as the final boss that Sammy has to beat at the pay-per-view. But what do I know? I don't know. I did want to mention randomly Braun Strowman, who kind of messed with Twitter by joking that he got 47 stars from Meltzer and him and Omos on the match that they had on Crown Jewel. And, he put Giants and Monsters over Flippy, whatever the hell. His point was like Giants and Monsters over Flippy guys. Then he got shit on from all kinds of people from all kinds of companies and stuff like Osprey. Why are you mad about making money, bro? I don't see anything. He's not saying he's mad. He just, he's joking around about friggin' that big dude's got people actually loved his match. That was his point. Not everybody has to be flippy dudes. And I don't know. That just reminded me of my friend I've been talking to a lot about. We just love over larger than life characters, and I'm pretty sure you do too.
Oh yeah, what was WWE without an Andre the Giant, Big John Studd?
What is Halloween without Michael Myers?
Earthquake, it's a huge part of wrestling, pun intended. The big men kind of got thrown in the wayside about 15, 20 years ago when you got your John Cena's and smaller wrestlers got to be, the state of the wrestling world, and which is a shame because there's a lot of big men that get overlooked every day in wrestling.
Yeah, and if you just looked at those guys together, it was insane. The size of those two dudes together. Almost, I think he's 7 feet, but whatever. My point is, I would just like to see that more at Impact. Get some larger than life characters. There's a reason that WWE has all these giants. You know what I mean? Like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Lashley. Lashley's he's not even thought of as one of the biggest monster guys. And he's you know what I mean? And he's Lashley. If he came back to Impact, he'd be the biggest monster. By far, he'd be the man. He'd have to beat Josh, obviously, but. Whatever. I just miss the whole larger than life characters, and I'd like to see more on Impact. And I don't know who the hell it is, but whatever. I know it's hard to get huge dudes. We did have Joe for a little bit. That was awesome, and hopefully he's gonna get better, and hopefully maybe even be back someday in the ring. We don't know. And what did we miss here? Taylor James and Mickey had a little friendly thing about they got a match coming up, I guess. So I guess that's gonna be at the special.
Yeah, I would imagine that's where it's going to be eventually be announced. But I think they've been kind of hinting that all along because first they had them teaming together and then they were successful, and then you kind of got that look like Mickey was kind of keeping her eye on her. I can't think of her name. Can't think of her name right now. You just mentioned her.
Sorry, I would have mentioned it, but my niece just texted me. Kids. Really glad I don't have any. So we're just going to quickly run to the Savannah match, and then I will talk nicely about how much I love the PCO match. But quickly, the Savannah versus Jessica match. Been a while. Again, don't like this. One match in 2 weeks for the knockouts, and no offense, but it being Savannah versus Jessica.
Yeah.
Let's just say not the two best wrestlers that they got.
Yeah,
especially when
weakest match on the card.
Especially when Jessica's in that gimmick, Havoc is awesome. It's cool for now, but Havoc is awesome. It's you're removing a great wrestler when I don't know. You can use them. It's not they don't have room for Havoc. There's really not a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The knockouts division.
I was a bit thrown back that Savannah got the win because, I mean, when's the last time she's ever really got clean pinfall over anybody?
Well, like you just said, you said the matches for with Tasha, right? For title. So
I kind of see it, but kind of the feel safe kind of thing they do, you know, like when two tag like that will have a program or two.
That's like a WWE move, I feel like, or like a lazy AEW move where whatever though. Can't be perfect at everything, especially when you got, you know, kind of a small roster, and like we said last week or whenever, like they're kind of going through a weird phase right now where they need some more names after on you know, basically 5 guys, 6 guys left, whatever it was, and they kind of were filling like different spots, like in different divisions.
Yeah.
With the Honor No More crew. Like, I'm still a little sad about it, but we do have PCO, and Jesus, he makes up for probably most of that group leaving. And
well, I mean, that stuff between him and Eddie, it by far, to me, outside of like the main event, it was by far the reason to watch this week's show, I felt.
Yeah, I'm curious how fans, we'd love to get comments about this one because I've seen a lot of like total opposite. Like, I love this. This is awesome, too. This sucked. This is the worst friggin' cinematic match I've ever seen. I thought it was really fun. I love that shit. I don't know how anything with PCO cinematic could suck. Like, I think, that's another thing I think we talked about. Like, how he said him and Rosemary, like, I'd have them as like a cinematic tag team, like putting in those kind of matches. Like,
well, it was quoted as being an epic cinematic fight.
My only problem with this was it wasn't promoted.
Oh yeah, there was totally no graphics that I could remember or anything.
I guess it was supposed to be like spur of the moment, which is fair, but
why not? Why not build it up with that Halloween flavor with the fake thing, or you know, or that, you know, kind of like spend that extra amount of dough on some, you know, fancy, you know, writing or whatever to kind of give it that.
Especially knowing Halloween was coming up, they could have set it up a week ahead of time.
Yeah.
They have time. They have these shows. I mean, I don't know if they mistimed. No, they couldn't have mistimed freaking Halloween.
We totally didn't get any that I could remember. I don't remember getting even a single mention of anything to do with Halloween, unless
did somebody get hit with a pumpkin, or am I thinking about a different show? No, that was SmackDown. Sorry, that was Otis on SmackDown. Friendly, chubby Otis on SmackDown. That's another one, though. He's just a big, chubby dude. Like, he's like an in-shape, chubby dude. But, like, that's a good, like, you know, Impact needs, like, different bodies and stuff. Like, not everybody has to be, like...
like a Mark Henry.
Yeah, like, nobody has to... Well, he's, like, a shorter version. But, yeah, like, nobody has to be thin, you know? Like...
Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, look at the matches that Mark Henry put on, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, huge dude. And great character, whatever else. Hey, but we got Moose. We got the Moose. We got... The champ is pretty big, and I'm missing some people. I mean, 2 pretty big ladies went at it there in that match, and I don't know. I think we need some more tall dudes in Impact, though.
Oh yeah.
And all right, so main event time. Kaz and Kazan. I was gonna say Kaz and Kazarian. I was gonna say Kaz and Kazarian. Yeah, Kaz and Josh teamed up versus Aussie Open, who, my God, I gotta say, they're an awesome team, but I just don't care. I can't keep saying it enough. I just cannot care about this team. Like, they're awesome, and, like, I enjoyed the match, but I don't know. It's just a really weird thing. I've seen them on, like they're on New Japan. They're on friggin' AEW. It's like there are too many goddamn places for me to, like, really care for. Like, it's like I feel like they're never going to win big matches because they're wrestling on 50,000 different shows.
Yeah, and I think the problem with them is the booking of them. They treat them like they're tweeners, you know, like they could be clean or dirty. And I think they would be much better served to be like a heel, like in the vein of not the Briscoes, but like
That's a good point. I didn't even think
the Quebecers.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. I don't know. If you just said that, and I thought for a second, what the hell are they? I don't know. I don't know anything about the characters.
Well, one dude with the shorter, or like that has the smaller stature, kind of looks like a whiny face wrestler to me. Like he would be perfect for a heel role. I don't know if you get that feeling.
Well, I don't know. To be honest, I really don't look at them that much. I try. I know I sound like a hater, but like they're great wrestlers. But if I don't, I feel like they're definitely not going to be around. So like, why get invested?
Yeah, it's hard to get invested. Yeah, I totally get that. I get that.
Like if I cared that much, I'd click on New Japan, watch them wrestling against friggin' FTR, I think it was.
Well, that's what I mean. I don't even know nothing about them. I think you know more about them, and what you know about them, you're not too invested. So
I mean, I know they're a great team, but like they're everywhere lately. Or maybe it's just like what I've been watching. But I saw them on AEW. I saw them.
I don't like that they're associated with Will Ospreay. I don't know. I still have been eating crow about how we kind of used Impact back in the day when we were on that UK tour. Yeah. And I don't know, wasn't much after that. And then he like went to, I don't know if he went to ROH instead. It never sat well with me.
But also, I would use him. Like, I would throw his name out there. That's his group. You know what I mean? Like, make them look bigger by just pushing the shit out of Ospreay's name. If it's legal, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you can say whatever the hell they want. You don't have to ask Ospreay. Can't we say your name? So
don't get the rub from him.
Yeah, so the good guys, well, not the good. Well, I guess they're the good guys. Yeah, I don't know I have no idea. Are they heels?
Well, did you notice how they were trying to make Alexander really vulnerable in the main event? Like he needed Kazarian to pull through. Did you know? Like he always had to tag out.
Yeah, I guess that's just the awesome tag team against the singles guys whole deal. And yeah, I mean, I didn't watch too close. Like I don't think did Kazarian do anything shady? That's all I was looking for.
At the end, when the match was over, he grabbed the title, and we were kind of like thinking, like, was he going to hit him with it, or was he going to kind of just pull it back? Like, and it might not be yours in a few days,
I'm curious if anyone other than me would flip out. Like, I would stand up and possibly try and do a flip and break my neck and kill myself if Christopher Daniels came back and helped Kazarian win. Just because that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite teams ever. Maybe the most entertaining two guys I've ever seen, even though it was 95% Daniels on the entertaining part. But together, they really just nailed it. Like, Kaz was like the straight guy that you needed in that spot.
Well, I mean, how badass was the Bad Influence theme, too?
They were just...
you know what I mean? There wasn't a badder theme out there.
Daniels, like, dancing down with his friggin' stupid drink. I forget what the hell it was called. But
do that, that apple teeny.
But I mean, he's out there. That is a possibility. No one knows what the hell Daniels has been up to. I mean, he's working backstage with AEW, but if you really want to know, but I mean, like in terms of wrestling, I mean, he can still wrestle. He's been wrestling independents all the time. He's been, he can still go. Like that's a possibility. I think it's
the dude looks like he has not gained a pound since he's been in wrestling.
I mean, and then they could do if they really wanted. Like you said, if they need like some time to kind of work on get some guys in. You do a friggin' quick turn. Hey, that's my fucking shot. You stole it, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm kind of like what happened with Bobby Roode and James Storm.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I guess this would be too fast since a lot of people would know them from back then. Maybe they can stick together for a little bit, do some funny shit. Then Daniels was like, "You asshole! The only reason I come back was to get what you took from me. What I deserved."
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I like your idea. I've always wanted. I wouldn't mind Christopher Daniels getting one last run.
Yeah.
Even if albeit for a few months or something, nothing.
Oh yeah, definitely no freaking.
I mean, special in his accolades. I mean, but nothing that's going to take up too much TV time or.
I would seriously love to see that, and then drop him right in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah,
and that's all. Awesome guy, love him. That would be cool. I mean, I don't think I would bet on Josh winning, but it's wrestling. We don't know, and I do think that's a possible scenario. I just wanted to throw it out there. Maybe that does happen, and I think we talked about everything other than how much we love that. I don't know how much else we could say, but how much we love the PCO match.
Well, I do have a bit of a little bit of info. I don't know. I don't think we mentioned it. Motor City Machine Guns recently won the New Japan Strong open weight tag team titles. They defeated. I guess it was. I don't know if they were separate matches. Our good friend Blood Rain would know. They defeated Aussie Open and they defeated Kevin Knight in the KC, he'd know.
Come on. Oh, was that a joke? Are you just throwing the Aussie Open in to fuck with me again?
No, I guess they booked him overseas. I guess at some kind of.
Told you they are literally everywhere at all times. I don't believe there's actually a group. They might be like multiples.
They called it the New Japan Rumble on 44th Street event. So I don't know. Our good buddy Blood Rain would know. I'm sure he watched that.
Also, that reminded me. They popped in to tell Josh not to trust Bully at one point of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, does anyone really have to tell anyone that? His name is Bully. His first name is Bully.
Well, it's got to be awkward for Chris Sabin, too, because like he was dating Velvet Sky back in the day.
Oh, and wow.
Bully ended up kind of stealing. I mean,
yeah, but they're done, I think, no?
Yeah, I think they're all done, but it's just kind of, it's got to be a little awkward to think what happened way back when,
I wonder, wow, I don't think he came back until after
they
broke up, which is interesting.
And then I got a big thing that could be brewing. I don't know how accurate or how truthful it is. But Brad Schwartz, who used to be a huge part of Pop TV when Impact was on there, and he was a big advocate for the product. He now has a job with CW as a programming strategist, and he does the branding. He's a branding developer for CW. It's being speculated or thrown out there that there's apparently he has a lot of friends in Canada, and he's had some people from different areas reaching out to him about getting programming on their channel. And there's no reason to think that Impact isn't possibly one of those options that he could go to. So,
do you know if Women of Wrestling is on there?
Yeah, I heard that. And I mean, if they're doing decent ratings, I mean, that might make their chances all the more better.
I mean, like last I heard, they're doing better than Impact and I think Rampage.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I mean, why not?
And no offense to them at all, but I don't think they have like any buzz. You know what I mean? Like, I don't ever see anyone talk. So if they're getting ratings like that with like not much buzz,
it doesn't hurt that their financier is Jeannie Buss.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, I hate everybody's bashing WWE, AEW, Impact. Like, you really don't hear much. I guess people are just quietly watching and enjoying.
Well, I mean, weren't they on Access TV for a little while too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then
who knows? Maybe it's like kind of a little test, Maybe Access is kind of watching, seeing how they're doing, but also got to throw in as a nerd, they just canceled pretty much everything on the CW. All my shows.
Oh, really? All the hero shows?
They canceled the whole goddamn CW universe. Damn. I don't think there's. I think Superman and Lois, I believe, is the only one left standing. So that's like 4, 5 hours, 6. That's like 1 hour a night they have open now.
Wow. So I don't know. Black Lightning and all of them?
I think every single one. I mean, it's the Flash's last season, and then
I kind of saw them coming to an end,
and then everyone else got canceled. I'm pretty sure,
jeez,
including Stargirl, which I love. It's fantastic.
I watched a few episodes of that. I was very hooked on that. It's too bad.
Got my man. I forget his name, but he's got a brother with the two brothers. They're both funny.
Wilson and
one of the Wilsons. Yeah.
Luke Wilson, yeah.
I always say every goddamn show. I mean, that's what Impact kind of needs, like a Luke Wilson, like one name that like everyone knows, like Justin Long. Like we happen to be Justin Long fans. I don't know, probably a small minority of the world are Justin Long fans, but like I kind of see him as
the dude's compiling quite a horror. Killings on his own image, because he's like. He was in, we mentioned it before we went today. He was in Tusk. He was in Jeepers Creepers.
He was in this new movie, Barbarian, on HBO.
Yeah, that one. I don't know. There's quite a few other ones that, that there are some that kind of borderline on horror, but you can tell he's kind of like found his calling, I think.
Yeah, he has like it's hard to explain, but like he's a good like straight man in a horror film that like you believe is like shitting his pants. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I got out from the last movie I was watching with him. Like he's like believable. Like he's a believable kind of regular kind of guy. But yeah, that has nothing to do with Impact. And
no, just me sending it off into another discussion.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I got to call my nephew who just came back from a huge trip to Penn State and hopefully see some pictures and shit. That should be cool.
Was he at a game?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, wow. I've been there before, too, with my uncle. I think.
Oh, you too. Wow.
Yeah, I've been there. That place is freaking huge. I mean, you look like in that stadium.
Well, you've been there. My nephew's been there. I ran on the goddamn track at Penn Relays, one of the biggest track and field things when I was in high school and used to be athletic and shit. So just want to end the show on a little brag. I used to be athletic. And that's about it. Subscribe and like us and follow. We're everywhere now. And we appreciate everyone who listens and comments. Even if you're commenting a few episodes behind, we are curious about that. Even though it's probably too late now. Why the hell are some of you listening to shows that we did a month ago? Are you watching Impact a month behind, or do you just like listening to us?
And remember, we're the podcasts that do things just a little bit different.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, we are the only official Impact Wrestling podcast. But I will make that announcement next week at the beginning of the show, because nobody can say otherwise. And that's about it. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Have a great week, everybody.